Hello and welcome to the first episode of Venture Vision. I'm your host, Dylan Davis, and today I'm joined with Lon Taylor. Lon, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me for your inaugural podcast here in video.
I'm so excited to have you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So we're going to dive right in. Lon, so if someone would say, who are you? Talk a little bit about yourself. Who's Lon Taylor?
So my background is in advertising and marketing, which I've been got into, probably 20 plus years ago, as digital was growing. And I had the good fortune to work with a whole bunch of gigantic clients in the automotive industry, the consumer packaged goods industry, the energy industry, and the healthcare industry. So about 20 years ago, I got into market research after being sort of more on the UX design side of things. And that's what I've been doing for the past 20 years. So it's mostly UX, user experience research on a variety of products, software, any type of digital application you can do market research on, and then also products. Which are super fun. You get to have people touch and feel a new product and get a sense of what they think about it.
Wow, that's awesome. So you've kind of been in every single market almost.
Yes.
Or no?
Almost. Yeah, we've had, again, the great fortune over the past 20 years of doing work in a huge variety of industries. So things like medical devices, we have a great client in the medical device industry, so we do a lot of that. And that you have to do to get your device sold in the United States or in Europe. It has to go through what's called a 510K process here in the US. And you have to prove that your device is easy to use, both for a physician who may be using it or the consumer. But then we did, about a couple of months ago, we did a rum focus groups.
Wow.
with millennials drinking a new rum product. So that was fun also. You get the experience, you have folks look at the can, the labeling, the packaging, and then you have them taste the product. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds
what I do. So yeah, I the research part of it is super fun.
Awesome. So let's dive in. So how do you see UX and market research evolving for startups over the next 5 to 10 years?
So UX research is, for me, crucially important. And the basis for saying that is that I've had 4 different startups over my career. The one that works best is my full-time company, First Insights, but I've had 3 other startups. Mm-hmm. Doing research as you are getting a company going is critical. You may have what you think is the greatest idea since sliced bread, but you want to validate that. You want to talk to who you think are the targeted consumers, whether it's a B2B application or a B2C application. So it's critical to do market research. And again, for those of the folks who are listening, kind of two buckets. You have qualitative research, which are things like focus groups or usability testing, but then you have quantitative research, mm-hmm. which is more numbers-based. It's surveys, and you kind of want to do both of these things if you're a startup to help you make sure that your investment of time and money is actually going in the right direction.
Right, and you need both sides. I mean, we can't just go into one thing with just the qualitative research and not know the numbers. You know what I mean?
Correct. And we even, just as an example, startups and giant companies have new product ideas all the time. And I remember a product that we did, which was for a new piece of kitchen equipment. And we went to people's houses and we watched what they were doing in their kitchen, and we did 12 studies.
Yeah.
And the client was all ready. They were all excited and they were going to present it. And I said, wait a second. I said, you're not going to just present that 12 people.
Right.
He was like, I don't know. And I was like, no. I was like, let's do a survey.
Yeah.
Because you have to sit in front of, a VP and say, here's what worked, what didn't work. So again, the process is the same for a large company, but think for a startup. You're going to sit in front of potential investors, and you need to back up what you think is this great idea.
Great. Awesome. So then what would you say is the best way for founders to turn the UX insights into product fundraising decisions in the future?
Yeah, so through fundraising, I can tell you a quick story and why this works. I got involved in a commercial insurance startup. I didn't know anything about commercial insurance. It was through guys who I shared office space with.
Yeah.
They thought this was a great idea. I had no idea. I said, look, I'll get involved if we run some focus groups, and all the people think that this is a great idea. So we ran the 2 focus groups, and literally all the participants in 2 different target audiences thought that this digital sort of matchmaking thing was a great idea. We took those videos. We had the fortune of being able to put in a decent amount of money ourselves, but we needed to raise some more money.
Right.
We took the videos. We showed literally 5 minutes of clips to a couple of their partners and got checks for $150,000 in 15 minutes.
Wow.
So this is where videotaping your research can really help. It helps you raise the money. And again, it's validating that, yes, this idea is solving a problem, that it's needed, and that the target audience thinks this might be helpful to them and save them time, save them money, all the reasons that you're creating a new product to be.
So just by creating those videos and showing them to like executives or whoever.
Yeah, it was to people who had big pocketbooks.
Wow. And they saw the videos and then they wanted to donate.
So
that's crazy. That's awesome.
So it works. It helps make it real. People like video of someone who is, again, objective, saying, this is a really good idea.
Yeah, and it's a visual. So they're like, oh, okay, I see how this works. That's awesome. So then with AI and automation on the rise, because that's a huge thing right now, how should startups adapt their user testing and research?
So AI it's becoming a great tool to help people do the research and get results a little bit more quickly. A typical project for myself and my team is, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. And a lot of the time is at the end where you're writing a report. So AI lets you kind of aggregate data a little bit faster.
Yeah.
You still have to watch. The AI is not perfect. But if you're doing a survey, let's say, and you had some open-ended questions, AI lets you dump all of those open-ended questions and the sentences that people wrote into a tool that's letting you analyze it more quickly. The other thing that AI has done, again, this is, really the past, 7, 8, 9 years, is that when you're doing, let's say, a one-on-one interview on Zoom, you're getting a transcript.
Yes.
And that's essentially AI. It's software, and whether you call it AI or not, but there are tools that, again, I just spoke to a startup that I'm actually mentoring. They have come up with a platform to help researchers like myself get to the bottom line faster. And the AI is, again, it is not, you can't rely on it to do everything. You still have to have, in my opinion, a human being analyzing this, moderating. I think a human being moderating especially the qualitative sessions is important. And when you have both, you're getting to answers a little bit faster. So that's where AI can be super helpful.
Yeah, it's a great tool, but it's definitely not a human.
Not yet.
So you have to have somebody just fact checking it. I agree with that. And so which digital marketing trends do you think will shape how startups reach and engage users in the coming years?
Yeah, so, stepping back and putting kind of my marketing hat on a little bit, I think that, we talked about the power of video just to help you raise funds and communicate your idea. And I think it's the same thing with marketing going into the future. Everybody wants to see a short video. There's an entire generation, not my generation, maybe your generation, that's on TikTok all the time. They're on YouTube all the time. And, video communicates well, which is one of the reasons why TV advertising still gets the money that it gets because you can tell a story. Video has the ability to elicit an emotional response. That's why it's so valuable.
That's so true.
And it's more valuable than print. So again, if you're a startup, whether you have a consumer product or again a business to business product, creating videos that explain how to use your product, where the return on investment is, how this product makes your life easier or saves you money. Creating those videos to me is again one of the main ways that I think companies are going to market themselves. The other area is influencers.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a consumer-based product and you have, again, I was mentoring a woman who created a new women's shoe product. I don't know too much about women's shoes, but I know that women love shoes.
We do.
And so if you want to communicate this, the best way is to team up with some influencers
and also
get the product out there.
Yeah, and also know like your audience, because obviously she's going to be targeting more women. So
correct.
She also probably would want to do not all women influencers, but that would probably help her audience, you know?
Correct. So that, and it's the same. Look, if you're marketing a new medical device, there are enough physicians that are the younger physicians that are watching things like they're watching, you know, an operation online, or they're watching a procedure and how it's done. So, and that's part of the marketing big picture.
Right.
And just social media is still obviously it's huge. It keeps changing. SEO seems like it's the old term, where GEO, generative engine optimization, is the new term with AI. So you have to kind of build out your website and your marketing materials to adjust to what is going on out there in technology.
Yeah, that's great advice. And then lastly, what advice would you give founders to future-proof their products and growth strategies over the next decade?
So this is where, we talked about kind of doing this initial research to help you validate your idea and communicate it better. But as you're building whatever idea it is, you want to continue to do research. It helps you figure out whether there's a shifting marketplace. It helps you kind of develop the next version of your product.
Right.
So you may come out, you may be able to raise money for version 1 of this idea and product, but pretty soon someone else is going to be like, oh, that's a good idea. And you have competition all of a sudden. So you need to, companies need to stay ahead of the curve by continuing to talk to their end users, and the people who are using their products and services on a regular basis. That helps you grow. If you look at some of the big companies, Amazon does non-stop research. Facebook does non-stop research. And the reason they do it is because it helps them gauge their audience and what is trending.
And things are changing all the time.
Things are changing all the time. No one saw TikTok coming really.
Right.
And all of a sudden someone came up with a better algorithm and a platform that was easier to use. And, that's what worked. So I would advise people to just continue to talk to your customers. Never be afraid of your customer. Listen to them. That's not saying that every customer is right 100% of the time, but it's going to help you make smart decisions moving forward. So I encourage, there's something called the double diamond, and it's kind of like an infinite loop where you're developing products, you're testing them, you're redeveloping them, and then launching them. And that kind of continuous loop, helps you stay ahead of your competition, hopefully.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Lon, for this conversation. I know I learned a lot. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. And that's all for this episode of Venture Vision.